Diamondback 45 here with a knife review, and today we'll be looking at the Tremor Model 1950 by Kershaw. Here is the Model 1950. Jumping right on in, some of the specs on this knife. We're going to have a blade length of 3 3/4 inches, and we're coming in at about 6 ounces. So big knife for sure. So that's going to primarily put it in the defensive tactical realm, although I EDC it without a problem. I personally like a bigger knife for everyday carry. So pretty much whatever works for you. The first thing I noticed with this knife is a funky handle design. It's got this pistol grip design, but it's very functional. You get a really good grip on it. It's not going anywhere. It gives it kind of that forward cant, that 45-degree angle it puts on the blade, so the blade's always forward and ready to go. We'll come in on the handle here. We have texturized G10 handle scales. Traction on that's going to be medium to medium light. We've got mini torque screws here, T6 and T8 on the pivot pin, and of course your lanyard hole. We have stainless steel liners, 3/4 Zytel back spacer, and on the back here, of course, this pocket clip. I love this pocket clip. You get some really crazy and out there designs. This is simple. I mean, it's good size. The positioning is good. A lot of people like them right on the end here. That's perfect for me right there. I like a little bit to grab onto when you're pulling it out of the pocket. And the main thing about it is a profile on that. Look how flat that is. As you can see, there are some scratches on here, and that didn't come that way. I did that through normal use and wear and tear. As you run into, or especially I do, run into everything with these clips. So it's really nice to have a flat clip. Let me close her up here. An example of a clip that's not as low profile. This is the Kershaw 2 by Bird. And as you can see there, look at that. The whole Spyderco / Bird clip design. They're great. I just personally am not a big fan. Look how tall that is in comparison. Oops. Flip that around. See? It's like night and day. And also, an issue I had with this one in particular is I was sitting in one of those camping chairs with this clipped in my pocket. I stood up and it just bent the clip up. It's not a big deal. I just unscrewed it and bent it back, but the retention has never been the same since then. This is a great knife, by the way. It's just not a huge fan of the pocket clip. Now that I'm off topic, let's get back to the Tremor. Yeah, I mean, a lot to be said for the clip there. It is a liner lock design. And I'll kind of show you how that engages. There you go. You got a finger choil here, jimped liner lock, and lockup strength is good. No, nothing forward, back, side, side. No problems there whatsoever. And one thing here, or that's not here, is jimping. Where's the jimping on this knife? It's big and, defensive tactical, I would think. And I was really racking my brain over this one until I really handled the knife and felt it. I think it's the ergonomics of the pistol grip design, because it's secure. It's not going anywhere. And, of course, they try to save money and, give it to us for a better price. But I would pay, couldn't be more than a few dollars to machine some jimping on that. But I think that's why. Saving money, of course, and also not as vital. Now, should this have jimping here? Yeah, I think it should. But as I said, not as vital, hardly not a deal breaker because of the ergonomics of the handle here. It is a speed safe, as you can see there, and what that is Kershaw's assisted opening. So it's a spring-assisted knife. It is a flipper design, and I'll just engage that a few times for you. On the deployment, it isn't lightning fast, but it is a 3 3/4 inch blade and a big blade. altogether at that. There's your thickness. So it's not going to be as fast out of the gate as your 2 to 3 inch knives. Let's see if we can get in here. Here we got partially machined milled out liners. You got 2 there, and then there's 2 on the bottom there. Pretty much nothing else here. And then, let's see here, we have, if you can see it, phosphor bronze bushing on that side, springs on the other side. Kind of hard to see. Courtesy of Streamlight Stylus Pro. Hopefully reviewing in the future if I have time. Now let's move on to the blade here. Boy, do I like this blade. And anyone can just say that. Let me tell you why. Well, it is 8CR13 MOV. It's a Chinese blade steel. They say comparable to AUS 8, although I personally think it's a little better. At least better than mine. It seems to have a little better edge retention to it. Seems a little more durable. Look at this blade shape. Kind of a clipped, almost, drop point. I don't know. But then the point, the tip. That is a good tip. That is a detail tip right there. When I mean detail, I mean where a knife really becomes a tool. You get those really tight knots and paracord, shoelace, anything like that. You just take the dull tip here and kind of pick that loose. And it doesn't harm the lace or cordage or whatever whatsoever. And then it's got, what I really love here is we've got kind of a belly here, and then it's got a kind of a recurve blade shape, which I love to see in almost every knife. I'm totally biased toward this recurve shape. I mean, you just start your slice here, you drag it across, beautiful. And of course we are hollow ground, of course, on the blade grind. And let's go on the other side. We got 1950, which is the model, and then KAI, the company that owns Kershaw in China. Excuse me. And we are stonewash finish, as opposed to your typical Kershaw beat blast, which holds up just fine. I almost even prefer it on a knife this big. It seems to hold up a little better than beat blast. I've scratched through it before, but haven't had a problem with it thus far. Durability on the 8CR13 MOV, you will have to take care of it. Just because it is a stainless steel doesn't mean it will not rust, of course, but I gotta say it, you know. Light coating oil, keep it dry. If you get it wet, wipe it immediately. Just take care of it. Keep it within its use, don't abuse it, and you're fine. Then, of course, aesthetics, which, of course, are an opinion, but I like to do it anyways, right? This is a good-looking knife. Just looks mean. Just looks ready for business, you know? And then, of course, it's incredibly functional, too. Just the grip, you know, I went over the blade design. It's really one of my favorites, one of my favorites at the time of this video. Of course, that always changes, but this is a design I think is really going to stick with me personally for a while. It's like a perfect marriage between functionality and beauty. So, enough of that, though. Fit and finish. Don't give it an A+++, and let me tell you why. On the spine, let me close this, I don't want to cut my finger off today. Don't know if you'll be able to see a little bit right there. The backs of the liners here, it looks kind of marred or almost even chewed up. You can barely see it there. That doesn't help when I come in closer. It doesn't affect the performance of the blade at all, and you can see a little bit up there too. It doesn't affect the performance of the blade at all, but you know, it's just one of those things. Plus, Kershaw is, you know, on all their other knives, I haven't seen that at all. It's all been pretty polished. Here I have the Nerve, Kershaw Nerve, or Blitz. And if you just kind of compare the two there, the Blitz on our Nerve, so same difference. On the right side of your screen, it's a lot more polished and refined, and you'll see the Tremor on the left side's a little rough. And then also, The back spacer, handle scales, and liners aren't completely flush. You can feel some ridges there when they are on the Kershaw Nerve, which to me represents how I get most of my Kershaw knives. It's a little more refined like that. So, not hardly a deal breaker at all. But, you know, just something to mention, of course. These are going to come in, time of this video, I think I got it shipped around $33. Wow. Yeah, I picked this up right away. It was one of the knives where I could not exist without having one. Because of the design, of course, and the value. $33 for this knife. That's something definitely it could not pass up. And it's a good working knife. I mean, take care of it, but you don't have to worry about babying it so much. If something breaks, you know, you just buy a new one. 33 bucks. You can't beat that whatsoever. I'm sure you could, but, you know, I'm loving this knife right now especially. So, that's all I got for you this time. This has been the Diamondback 45 with your knife review on the Kershaw Tremor Model 1950. I want to thank you for watching as always. Go ahead and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.